Alright guys, what are we talking about today? We have one. It's an original Spyderco stretch in Hap 40. Rex45, pair of 3. I thought this was interesting because I had already done these when I saw Steve's video pop up, and I know Steve and I had talked about it a little bit. So I was curious to see how this came out, especially since these are supposed to be analogs of each other pretty much. And M4. Why'd I throw M4 in here? We're going to talk about that. So we have some cutting to watch. I'm going to speed it up pretty good. I'm not sure how the quality will be. So we can talk about these. These two are my personal knives, and this one I would like to thank Travis Young from the EDC Brotherhood group on Facebook for loaning me this stretch to test. So 3 knives. How are they going to do? Let's watch the cutting and come back and talk about it. Alright guys, now that we watched all that cutting, let's go ahead and talk about the 3 knives I tested. Now, this test is a little bit different than what I normally do. Steve and I had talked about this. We did not compare results until, actually, I had already finished mine. And Steve posted his video the night of our podcast. And we talked about it just this past Monday. I have DMT coarse, DMT fine, and DMT extra fine. So these were all run at 15 degrees per side. DMT coarse, DMT fine, 10 passes per side on a 1 micron strop. Wanted to see how close Steve and I were, how close our testing is, our results are, everything like that. So for the first test on Hap 40, I got 138 feet fine edge and 237.3 feet working edge. Sharpened it up again. For the verification run, I got 135 feet fine edge and 242 feet working edge. Not bad. I didn't do the math off the top of my head. I would say that the difference between this stretch and the Packwood Endura that Steve ran is, we're definitely somewhere in the 3 to 4% difference range, if it's even that high. So that was Hap 40. So we move on to Rex45. It is an analog of Hap 40. They're almost identical. Same thing with this. 15 degrees per side. DMT coarse, DMT fine. 10 passes per side on a 1 micron strop. And I don't know what the HRC is on this or the M4. These will go out to Kurt this week, and I will have to update this later. So I don't know where either one stands right now. But Rex45. For the first test on Rex45, I got 181 feet fine edge and 339 feet working edge. Sharpened it up the same way, stropped it the same way, ran the verification test, and on the verification test I got 186 feet fine edge and 335 feet working edge. Big difference between this and the Hap 40. Like I said, I have no idea where this is. I'm just gonna guess and say, like the others, maybe it's in the 65 HRC range. I don't know yet. But this goes along with showing that I've also read plenty of times that guys have complained that this Hap 40 is run a little bit soft. So, why did I pick M4? Because when I started testing the Rex45, me personally, the way it cut, how it did, reminded me a whole lot of M4. Don't know why, but M4 is the first thing that popped in my head after I got done testing the Rex45. This already had enough edges on it. Same thing, DMT coarse, DMT fine, 10 passes per side on a 1 micron strop. And for M4 on the first test, I got 191 feet fine edge and 334 feet working edge. Really close to the Rex45. So I went ahead and sharpened it again, stropped it again, ran the test again. On the verification run, I got 190 feet fine edge and 335 feet working edge. Just like the Rex45, I have no idea what this is going to come back at. I'm guessing somewhere between 63 and 64 as the others that have been previously tested. I really love M4. However, even though they perform really close together, I'm not totally sold on Rex45 yet. I don't know if it was because I heard so much hype about it. I've had this knife for a long time. I got this back right after the drop happened. I found it for a good price on the secondary. I picked it up. It's been sitting a long time waiting for me to run it against Hap 40. But like I said, I'm not sold on this yet. I don't know if it's going to grow on me. I can't say. After I send it to Kurt, I am going to use it for a while outside of testing in everyday use and see how it does. Just from testing and messing around with it prior to testing, I don't know, something about it just didn't sit well with me. Maybe that'll change. I can't say. But that's how these three came out. Hap 40, Rex45, M4. I'd be perfectly happy with this Hap 40. I think it did pretty good. It did better than a whole lot of the M390 that I've tested. Rex45 tested good, not as good as the hype I've heard on it, but I'll revisit it later. And the M4, I knew how that was going to do already. I love M4, but that's all I have. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.